Imagine for a second that you're just a regular guy. And I don't mean, movie character regular. I mean, actually, boringly normal.
Right.
You're living your life. It's the late 70s, South Carolina. You don't read sci-fi. You don't care about the paranormal. You haven't even seen Close Encounters.
And you trust the system. You
No,
trust the military.
totally. You go to church on Sundays, and if you see strange lights, you just assume, oh, it's the Navy testing something secret. You are the definition of a reluctant witness.
That is a very specific profile,
Mm.
but it's a crucial one for the case we're diving into today.
Mm.
Because usually when we talk about these things, skeptics say the witness was, looking for it.
Right, that they were primed, that they
Yeah.
wanted to see something.
Exactly. Wish fulfillment. But today we're looking at a case where the witness wanted absolutely nothing to do with what happened to him. We're talking about William J. Herrmann.
The Herrmann cases.
Wow.
Wow, it's a lot.
It's intense. And for this deep dive, we're basing everything on the investigation report, UFO Contact from Reticulum. It was co-authored by L.T. Curl, Wendelle Stevens, and Herrmann himself.
And we should be clear about what this source is. This isn't some paperback novel.
No. This is a dense dossier. It's got sketches, transcripts, photos, even medical reports. It's an investigation.
And it details what researchers would call a Type 4 encounter.
That's right. So we're not just talking about lights in the sky here. We're talking abduction, physical evidence, and maybe the weirdest part, a very aggressive human response to what he saw.
It's like a conspiracy wrapped inside a cosmic mystery.
That's a good way to put it.
So what's our mission here? Why does this specific case still matter so many years later?
I think the mission is to understand the complete dismantling of a person's worldview. We get to watch how a total skeptic gets turned into a believer and then gets punished for it.
So let's set the scene. North Charleston, South Carolina, late 1977. Who is William Herrmann before all this starts?
He's just a common individual. Lived in a trailer park, young father, working hard. He was not seeking any kind of attention. And the whole thing starts pretty innocently. November 12, 1977.
He's near the Ashley River area.
Correct. And he spots a Cessna, a little private plane banking toward the airport. But right behind it is a bright silver disc.
And when you say behind it, you don't mean like a star in the distance?
No, he's using binoculars. He's not guessing. He sees a solid object, and it's the movement that gets him.
It passes the Cessna, doesn't it?
It speeds up, passes the plane, stops dead in midair, gets brighter, and then whoosh, just shoots straight up and out of sight.
Okay, that's not normal. Planes don't do that.
That is what we call non-ballistic motion. It just defies inertia. But here's the interesting part about his mindset at this point. He lives near an Air Force base. He sees jets all the time.
So he just thinks it's us.
That is exactly what he thinks. He just rationalizes it. Wow, the Navy has some cool new toys. He doesn't call the papers. He just files it away as military tech. It fits his world.
But that tidy explanation starts to fall apart pretty quickly. A couple weeks later, November 27, he sees another one. But the real breaking point, that's December 2nd.
This is where it gets physical. This is the skyquake incident.
Skyquake, it's such a great term. So what happened? It's 9 in the morning. Herrmann is asleep in his trailer.
His baby daughter, Mondi, is in her playpen. And then just boo.
A massive jolt. He thinks a train is derailed or a plane crashed right into the trailer park.
The whole structure is shaking. I mean, you can imagine a trailer just vibrating. He jumps out of bed, looks out the window, and he's expecting to see, smoke, wreckage.
But he doesn't.
No, the neighborhood looks totally normal. No one's running around. But the shaking gets worse. A ceramic plaque actually vibrates right off his wall and shatters. His daughter starts screaming.
It's like a localized earthquake. And while he's trying to calm her down, he looks out the window again.
And there it is, a silver disc just hovering right over the power tower nearby.
And as soon as the shaking stops,
it vanishes. Now, this is where the public record gets interesting. The report says skyquakes were being reported all over Charleston around this time.
so other people were feeling these booms.
Yes, and this is what I call, institutional gaslighting.
What were the authorities saying?
The Navy was blaming it on sonic booms from aircraft. But then the Air Force denied they had any planes in the area that could have caused it.
So the Navy's pointing at the Air Force is shrugging, and Herrmann is watching a UFO literally shake his house.
Exactly. And he still thinks it's the military. He's probably thinking, why are they testing this over my home?
He's clinging to that belief. It's us. It has to be. But that crumbles in January 78, the daylight encounter.
January 22nd. A Sunday morning.
He's driving to church. I mean, it doesn't get more normal than that. He's on his way to Northside Baptist, turns onto Cross Country Road, and this silver and orange disc just crosses right in front of him.
And he actually turns his car around to chase it, which, that's where a reluctant witness starts to become investigator.
He follows it to an open field, gets out with his binoculars, and this thing is hovering at treetop level. Give us the description here because it's so specific.
It is. He says it was maybe 60 or 70 feet across, metallic. But the color, he described it as orangish and silver intermixed, like Christmas tinsel.
Like Christmas tinsel, that's such a weirdly specific thing to say.
It implies a texture, right? Not just smooth chrome. He said it had no windows, just this dome on top. And it was silent. Totally silent for something that big.
But this is where the story shifts from just a sighting to a full-blown national security incident. Because he wasn't alone in the sky that day.
The C-141 Starlifter enters the picture.
A massive U.S. Air Force transport plane.
Huge. And Herrmann sketches this. We have the sketch. This UFO is pacing the C-141. It was flying directly behind the T-tail of this military plane.
And then it just reverses course and leaves.
Wait, now stop and think about that. If you're a pilot, this is a nightmare. You have an unidentified object flying dangerously close to a military asset.
It's a collision hazard. It's a breach of airspace.
It's potentially a hostile act. So naturally, Herrmann has photos.
Yeah.
He has evidence. He takes this to the Air Force, and you'd expect them to, I don't know, lock down the base.
You'd think.
But the response he gets is just baffling.
The source quotes a Major WK, an Air Force information officer. He looks at the photos and says, and I'm quoting, "If I saw one, I might just forget it."
If I saw one, I might just forget it. Just let that sink in.
It sounds almost rehearsed, like a prepared brush-off.
It is staggering. Here's an officer basically admitting to a policy of willful ignorance. I wouldn't be too concerned about it.
Yeah.
It's just complete apathy.
It's an admission that they know exactly what it is, and the official policy is ignore it and hope it goes away.
Which means Herrmann couldn't just forget it, because things were about to go from observing to participating.
March 18, 1978, the abduction.
This is the turning point. Up until now, he's a witness. Now he becomes a subject.
He's out at night near that train trestle again. He's seen the object flying in those weird triangular patterns.
He tries to take a shortcut to get closer.
He gets to the riverbank. The object drops down, silent. The lights go out. And suddenly, it's hovering, 10 or 15 feet in front of him.
And this is where his memory gets fragmented. Most of what happens next comes from hypnosis sessions with Dr. James Harder.
He describes a blue haze, a tube of blue light, and he tries to touch it.
His hands go right through it. But notice the psychological shift. He says he stopped being afraid. He felt safe.
Is that the technology? Is it making him calm?
It's a very common element in these reports.
Yeah.
The switch from terror to sort of sedated calm. And then he sees them, the occupants.
The source material mentions a sculpture that was made based on his description.
That's right, by an artist named Alan Levine.
So what did they look like? They're not your typical grays, are they?
Not exactly. They have the large heads, sure. But he describes them as having an oriental look to their eyes. Slanted, large. He said their bodies looked frail, but they projected this immense strength.
Like a psychic strength.
That's how he took it. Mental
Yeah.
power. And then blank. Next thing he knows, he's inside.
This isn't the typical abduction story, though. He's not on a cold table being poked.
No, it's more like a tech demo. He's in a room filled with what he called massive machinery. He describes this checkerboard of colors in constant motion, and the aliens actually named the machine for him.
The equilibrium manipulator.
Equilibrium manipulator. It sounds a bit like something out of a 50s sci-fi movie, doesn't it? But he was insistent on that name.
What does that even mean, though?
Well, if you think about it, it suggests technology that controls stability, maybe gravitational stability. If you can manipulate equilibrium, you can make those 90-degree turns. You can hover silently.
Ah, so it's the engine room.
Basically. And then he sees the symbols, a bar of flashing lights with strange symbols that just burned into his mind.
Which brings us to the next room.
The inculcation chamber.
That word, inculcation, it's so specific.
It really is. It doesn't mean to show. It comes from Latin, to stomp in or press in. It means to instill an idea through persistent repetition.
So they weren't just showing him things, they were putting something into his mind.
Forcibly. It suggests they were altering him, or maybe using him as a vessel for information.
Yeah.
And then the return.
Which is always messy. He doesn't wake up by the river where he was taken.
He wakes up in a tilled field.
In Somerville, miles away. It's after midnight. He's cold, confused, and has to flag down a car on a dark road.
Imagine that. A Dorchester County deputy picks him up, and this is where the social stigma just crashes down on him. They call his wife, and the police are basically implying he's drunk or crazy.
The tragedy of it all. You survive this insane event, but you don't survive the social fallout.
Exactly. And the attacks didn't stop there. This is where the story turns into a spy thriller. Because now we have to deal with the humans.
The conspiracy. And honestly, this part is scarier than the aliens.
It's so calculated. Herrmann is vulnerable, trying to make sense of things, and a guy approaches him, calls himself Thomas M. Olson from a UFO research group.
And he's good. He has an ID, knows details about the case that weren't public.
He has insider written all over him. So Herrmann trusts him. This Olson guy takes him to a hotel, the Mills Hyatt House, for a debriefing.
And they say they want to give him a polygraph test?
But it wasn't a polygraph.
No. Herrmann realizes something is wrong. He feels woozy, disoriented. He's pretty sure he was drugged.
And the questions they were asking, they weren't research questions. They were interrogating him. They wanted to know what happened inside the ship, what he knew.
It's like they knew the ship was real and were terrified of what Herrmann learned. Maybe they were looking for the results of that inculcation.
And here's the kicker. The real Thomas M. Olson was contacted later.
Knew nothing about it.
Nothing. He'd never even met Herrmann. The guy in the hotel was an imposter.
So who was he?
That's the million-dollar question. An imposter with a team running a drug-induced interrogation in a high-end hotel. That takes resources.
It screams intelligence operation.
Absolutely. And it didn't stop there. His car was tampered with, his home was broken into, threatening phone calls.
And then the military just drops the mask.
The Navy housing officer calls him up and says, point blank, you are not wanted on the base.
If you come back, you will be escorted off. Why? If he's just some crazy guy, why threaten him? Why drug him?
It suggests he saw something he wasn't supposed to see. Or they desperately wanted to know what the aliens told him in that chamber.
It's like Men in Black without the jokes. Just pure intimidation.
And in a weird way, it validates his story more than a photo ever could. If you lie about a UFO, people ignore you. If you tell the truth, and it matters, people come after you.
Let's talk about those flight patterns again, the triangles.
Yeah, the zigzags.
Huh.
He claimed the aliens told him this was to reduce the effect of radar.
Is that a real thing? Or just techno babble?
It's a real concept in electronic warfare. Radar works by predicting trajectory. If you fly in erratic, sharp angles, you break the computer's lock. You confuse the tracking.
So for a guy who didn't read military journals.
It's a very specific technical detail to just hallucinate.
And what about the name of the report? Contact from Reticulum.
All right, Zeta Reticuli.
Yeah.
The same star system from the Betty and Barney Hill case. Now, you could argue he was just copying a trope.
But he wasn't a UFO guy.
Exactly. And in his case, it was presented as part of the data he brought back. Specific astronomical data about binary star systems that, frankly, he just shouldn't have known.
It's just amazing how his perspective changed through all this.
There's a quote from a letter he wrote that just sums it all up. He said, "It is not important that belief be established. All that matters is that knowledge of the occurrence be established."
Knowledge, not belief. That's a powerful line.
He realized people could choose to believe him or not. That was irrelevant. He knew what happened. He possessed a truth that society wasn't ready for.
So to recap, a regular guy sees discs, gets his house shaken by a skyquake, watches a UFO pace in Air Force transport.
Then he's taken, shown advanced tech, put through an inculcation chamber, and dropped miles from home with missing time.
And when he tries to get help, he's targeted by imposters, drugged, and threatened by the military.
It is a complete dismantling of a normal life.
It brings you back to that Air Force major, doesn't it? If I saw one, I might just forget it.
I think that's the central contradiction of this whole case.
How so?
Well, the official stance is apathy. We don't care, it's not real, move along. But the actions, the fake researcher, the drugging, the threats, those actions show an intense, desperate obsession with what he knew.
Right. You don't drug and interrogate a guy who just imagined something.
Exactly. The human reaction validates the alien encounter more than the photos ever could. If it was just a delusion, they would have ignored him. They didn't ignore him, they hunted him. And that tells you everything.
That is a chilling thought. The aliens might have been strange, but the humans were the ones who really wanted to hurt him.
It certainly seems that way. Sometimes the scariest thing isn't what comes down from the sky, but what comes knocking at your door afterwards.
Well, next time you hear a sonic boom or feel a little quake, maybe take a look out the window. You never know what might be hovering over the power lines.
Just keep your binoculars handy. And maybe don't go to any hotels with strangers claiming to be UFO researchers.
Solid advice. Thanks for listening to this deep dive into the Herrmann case. Stay curious out there.